Beyond Bedtime.
Hey everybody, welcome to Beyond Bedtime. I'm your host and my name is Stooge Carmichael. So listen, we're having some licensing problems with our intro song, so I thought I'd officially release my take on an intro. I used to be a musician in college, so here it goes. Wow, I just have to say this is really good. Wow. It's Beyond Bedtime. Yeah. Wow. Okay, I just have to say it. That was good. Okay, now on to episode 4 of Beyond Bedtime. Nathan and Walter versus the Costume People. Episode 4. The Power of Glub. Nathan and Clark, and of course Loki, hidden in Nathan's backpack, flew along the seaboard from Connecticut down to the coast of New Jersey. Clark landed the ship in Sea Isle City, conveniently behind yet another unused billboard.
Why are we going here again?
We need to meet up with my contact, Clark said. He made a promise to me many years ago, but I didn't know where he went. And honestly, I can't believe he's still alive. And on Earth, of all places. Well, not exactly on Earth, more like under Earth. Follow me, Clark said, and Nathan followed him. They walked along the boardwalk. It was sunny, but breezy and cold. The boardwalk was totally empty, as it was a winter day, and Sea Isle City is a summer vacation town. Scion, we are at the location, Clark said.
Good.
The Scion said.
Wait just one moment.
The Scion entered a few commands into his computer, and then, on Earth, on the coastline of Sea Isle City, a long, narrow dock suddenly emerged from the ocean, making a thunderous sound as water and waves sloshed from side to side. Quick, Clark said to Nathan. We don't have much time. Nathan and Clark began running down the newly appeared dock, which was a few hundred feet long at least. Nathan was too stunned to speak. Loki had fallen asleep in his backpack. At the end of the dock was a ship, or rather, a submersible. This submersible didn't look like a hot dog. It was more circular, like a hamburger. Clark waved a keycard, and the hatch on top opened. Get in! After they entered and Clark closed the hatch, the submersible began a dive, going straight down, all the way down to the bottom of the ocean. It hit the ocean floor with a thud, but also with a metal clank, like they had come upon a door. Scion, Clark messaged. We are at the entrance to the underground city of Waffle World.
The city of what?
Nathan said.
Good.
The Scion said.
I can open the secret entrance from up here. Remember, Clark, Nebotians aren't likely to be very welcome down there. So stay quiet and locate Toaster Joak Strudel.
Understood, Clark said.
What are you guys talking about?
Nathan said. The hatch opened, and Nathan and Clark now went down into an airlock. The airlock drained of water, and they opened the hatch and got out. Follow me, Clark said, and try to be inconspicuous.
What does that word even mean?
Just be quiet and keep your head down. Clark and Nathan began climbing down a very, very long ladder, and in the distance, Nathan saw an amazing underground world. It was a whole city, lit with colorful lights on strings and warm glowing lamps. There were tall buildings and homes, but also roller coasters. But the roller coasters looked different. They wobbled and shined like they were made of jello. The children on it were screaming, but they didn't look like human children.
Clark, you need to tell me, what is this place?
This is Waffle World. Everyone who lives down here is some sort of weird food. That's alive, of course. Nathan saw what looked like a group of starbursts with big smiles going down a log flume, but the log was made of a chocolate bar, and the water bubbled like it was green soda. At the bottom of the ladder, Clark said, "Put your hood up and follow me." They walked through the streets, past a coffee shop, a barber, and the law offices of Syrup and Syrup, who specialized in probate law, according to their sign. Finally, they arrived at some sort of nightclub with a sign over it that read, "Lil Sweetie's Roadhouse." They went in. "This isn't too friendly a place," Clark whispered. "Not for Nobotians or humans, that is. We're gonna meet someone here. I think he's here, at least." They walked through the nightclub and Nathan saw quite the collection of beings. A group of Doritos chatted over drinks in a booth. A Sour Patch Kid was playing a Tostino's pizza roll in a game of pool. And 3 cups of ramen noodles ate a platter of nachos at the bar.
This is bizarre,
Nathan said. Then he noticed a muscular cheese stick sitting by himself at a table.
Is that him? I bet that's him. Is that a toaster Joie Strudel?
No, that's not him, Clark said. He pointed at what looked to be a frozen waffle, oblong-shaped with a rounded head, blueberry eyes, and a pale complexion because he was high in fiber. The frozen waffle quietly swept up at the rear of the nightclub. That's who we need to meet. That is Toaster Joie Strudel. Back above the surface, Chester, Walter, and the costumes were expanding at a feverish pace. They made their way through Connecticut, stopping at every costume store and fast food place they could find. Basically any place with costumes or uniforms. And continued on through Rhode Island, doing the same. Then up through Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, then across to Vermont, to upstate New York, and finally, they came back down and arrived in New York City. They mostly limited putting the blue stuff onto costumes and uniforms, but occasionally would put a drop or two on a bottle of shampoo or hand lotion. Though Chester's goal was to create chaos, he ironically was quite organized. When he woke up each morning, he would make his own bed, brush his teeth, or the empty space around his face where his teeth should be. He went over the daily numbers while drinking his coffee and reading the newspaper. Chester was not just organized, but ambitious, driven. He had set a goal of making the world go totally bonkers, and he was going to achieve it. He was going to achieve it using good old-fashioned ingenuity and business sense.
"Here,"
Chester said, looking upon the Manhattan city skyline.
"this is where I want the costume headquarters to be built."
"This city is the heartbeat of the world," glibly said. "The center of commerce," Rakota said. "Millennials want to be here," Derek said.
"Exactly."
As they scouted locations for the building, the costumes began tormenting people. First, they started by dropping some blue stuff onto all the screens of Times Square. The screens started to show videos of crazy things, like a rhinoceros getting hit in the face with a water balloon in slow motion. There was another video of golfers crawling around and eating sand. Then, right in the middle of Times Square, the costumes started to play a huge game of Monopoly, but they made tourists be their pieces in houses. They stole real money to use for the game money, and instead of actually playing, they just started whacking each other with pillows. Huey Lewis and the News costumes started to play Van Halen covers, and the dragon dropped huge balloons filled with grenadine on everyone. It was, in a word, crazy. Even Walter joined in.
Woohoo!
He shouted. Sure, he missed his family a bit, his mom and his dad and Loki, and he missed his brother Nathan some, but for the moment he was having the time of his life. He didn't yet seem to notice that all the trouble they were causing was making life very difficult for most people.
Walter,
Chester walked up to him.
are you enjoying yourself?
Side by side, they watched the chaos in Times Square.
Yes, this is great.
Well, I've been very impressed with your efforts, and I wanted to promote you.
Really?
Absolutely. You are no longer a sidekick. Now, you are Executive Project Head, Marketing and Development, Northeast Region.
Wow, I'm an insected project head. Marketing and development, Northeast region.
Absolutely. You've earned it.
This made Walter very happy. He didn't know exactly what a project head was, or what marketing and development were, but this didn't matter, as the adults who had these jobs didn't seem to know what they were either.
We are going to build our new headquarters here, Walter, and then you are going to help me and the costumes take over the rest of this country, then the rest of the planet, then, if I have my way, the rest of the galaxy.
What about the rest of the universe?
Walter asked.
Yes, yes.
Chester said,
I like the way you think.
Back underground in Waffle World, Nathan and Clark approached Toaster Joak Strudel.
Who is this person again? Or a waffle? What is he?
Toaster is a frozen waffle, but down here all the people call themselves glubbers.
Why?
I'm actually not quite clear on that myself. Okay, Nathan, just let me do the talking. Toaster, Clark said. Hey, it's me, Clark. Clark Cocoplex? Toaster stopped sweeping and looked at Clark. Clark, Toaster said. What the heck are you doing here? Toaster, it happened. Well, what happened? Someone lost their orb of blue stuff. It got to Earth. I knew one of you Nebotians wouldn't take care of your orb. There are always too many orbs. Who was it? Who lost their orb? Was it the Scion? Clark said.
It was Clark.
Nathan said.
It was this orb that fell to Earth. It fell into my house and brought a Santa Claus costume to life. And that costume is leading all this trouble.
Clark, how could you be so careless? And a costume? It got on a costume? Keep your voice down, Nate, Clark said. Toaster, Clark continued. I can't explain all of this to you now. You made a promise that if our people were ever in trouble, you would help us. And now, we need your help. We need to balance things. We need your orb of red stuff. Toaster looked away. He started to sweep the floor again. I can't help you. Toaster, Clark said. This is important. You are the holder of the lone orb of red stuff. You promised to help if things ever got out of control. I can't help you. Just then, a group of muscular, sour gummy worms wiggled over to where Toaster and Clark and Nathan were speaking. Toaster, hey bruh. Not enough work to do? You have all this extra time to talk to your nerd friends? Said the lead gummy worm. Hi, Squiggles, Toaster said. Sorry. Yes, I had finished my cleaning. Finished? Are you sure about that, bro? Squiggles took the 256-ounce bucket of blue raspberry soda he was holding and turned it upside down. The soda sloshed all over the floor. Whoops! Sorry about that, bro. I guess you're gonna need to get a mop.
Clean up in aisle 5.
Nice one, bro. Up top.
I love to say clean up in aisle 5 whenever Squiggles makes a mess.
Hilarious, bro. The gummy worms wiggled away. I have to get back to work, Toaster said. Toaster, Clark said. Why did you let them treat you like that? What happened to you? Please, leave me alone. Toaster got out the mop and bucket. I really have to just clean this up.
Toaster Judel, clean that mess up now.
Listen to me, Clark. I can't help you because I am no longer the keeper of the orb. You'll need to talk to NAWVTCP about that. He has it now. But I wouldn't recommend it. He really doesn't like Nebotians. And he likes Earthlings even less. NAWVTCP? Who is NAWVTCP? Clark said. Toaster gestured over to a huge thing sitting on a throne of sorts at the rear of the nightclub. The thing looked like 3 kinds of food mashed together, sort of like a waffle, a pancake, and a donut. And he had 3 heads as well. That's NAWVTCP. He's the leader down here, the leader of the Glubbers.
He's huge.
Nathan said. He's sort of 3 Glubbers in one. He's a waffle, he's a pancake, and he's a donut. He even has 3 heads, 3 voices, 3 semi-distinct thought processes. And he has the glub. Toaster pointed towards a glowing red orb sitting behind NAWVTCP.
Like Glub.
Nathan said.
What's the glove?
Shh, said Toaster. Please, do not ask that question too loud.
Why not?
Because the answer is very annoying. Just trust me on this. Toaster lowered his voice even more. The glub is just the lone orb of red stuff we have. We call it glub. Now, I'm really sorry, Clark. I can't help. I don't have the glub, and nobody listens to me anyways.
Toaster!
Shouted his manager from across the room. Toaster left.
What do we do now?
Nathan said. Clark started walking towards NAWVTCP. Looks like we need to talk to NAWVTCP. Nathan followed Clark. We need to get that orb, or that glub, to stop the costume people. They wormed their way through a huge group of people on a dance club floor, dancing and laughing and having a great time. There was a band on the stage, but they just stood idle, smiling, like they were waiting for something. Let's just get to NAWVTCP.
I don't understand. Why do we need this? What is the orb of red stuff? What is Glub?
Everyone in the club went silent and stared directly at Nathan. The lead singer on the stage perked up and stepped forward. Did someone just say, "What is Glub?" On the other side of the club, Toaster looked up and said, "Oh no." Glub, I'll tell you what Glub is. What the power of it is. Hit it, boys. All at once, every last living piece of food in that nightclub started dancing.
The power of Glub is a curious thing. We used to be food, but now we all sing. We're a town of food, snacks and talking grub. And that's all thanks to the power of Glub. you feel it?
Hi, listeners. It's the narrator here. You might be wondering why this parody of the Power of Glub is appearing in the middle of this story. You see, the songwriters Huey Lewis and the News are involved with all fiction that has to do with the space-time continuum. But they didn't really write it. Huey Lewis and the News are made up. I mean, just listen to their name. It's Huey Lewis and the News. It's clearly from a fictional universe, the one we're in. I mean, their most popular album was just called Sports. So that's not a real thing. That must be made up. So you see, this band playing right here is actually called Lewis Noodles and the Cheese. And the Huey Lewis costumes are actually called Jerry Kisbet and Pandemonium's Nomenclature. The actual Huey Lewis and the News don't appear in this podcast. Okay, back to the song.
Don't need Nemo, don't need Musa, not when our own hope is enough. It's perfect and sacred and older than time. Sounds great, but it's just red slime. That's the power of Glub. That's the power of Glub. You feel the power of Glub.
Even Nathan and Clark had been mesmerized by the song and lost themselves in dance. But because they weren't paying attention, they were easily accosted by Wapado's guards. Hey, where are you taking us? They were thrown unceremoniously at the feet of the large Wapado.
Who asks about the power of Glub?
When Wapado communicated, it was not one, but all three of his heads that spoke in unison. Clark was too afraid to answer, but Nathan said,
My name's Nathan.
You look odd. Come up here, little boy. We are
Dough
part waffle,
part pancake
and
part donut,
but mostly waffle.
No,
I've been
always
saying we look like a big dough this time.
Nathan, Clark, and even all the rest of the Glubbers looked side to side. Nobody quite knew what Wapado was talking about when he argued with himself. Listen, Wapado, we need your help, said Clark. We need your orb of red stuff.
We don't help Earthlings,
And we definitely don't help Nebotians.
Now look them up.
Wapado gestured for his guards to take away Nathan and Clark.
Oh, wait, hold on a minute. We need your help. Your blue stuff got loose. Costume we're taking over.
Wapado put up a hand, made out of a jelly donut, and waved his guards to bring them over.
You say the blue stuff got loose? Read our lips. Not our problem.
Nice harmonizing, Waffle.
Thank you, Donut. The guards started to drag Nathan and Clark away to the cells. No, said Clark,
This feels like suspension all over again.
said Nathan. As they were dragged away, Loki managed to sneak out of the backpack and hide away in a corner of the nightclub. Hey everybody, thanks for listening, and listen to our new intro-outro song. It's called, It's Beyond Bedtime. Thanks for listening, bye.
It's beyond bedtime. Yeah.